Okay, look. Other than Annika, we're not highly competitive here. And even
I'm only
with
highly
yourself.
competitive with things that don't matter.
Hi. Welcome to Knitting My Shit Together, a knitting and fiber arts podcast where neurodivergence and yarn collide. My name is Willa. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm on my front porch because it's in the 70s Fahrenheit today. And you could find me on Ravelry as What Willa Knit Today. And on Instagram, I just changed it. I have to update the slide to @WhatWillaMake.
You
and
should change the
Tomboy
name
Femme
too.
Bags. Oh, I have to change this too. But I'm also @Tomboy Femme Bags, so yeah. Yeah. That's my stuff.
Hi, I'm Annika. I use they, them pronouns. I am in Moses Lake, Washington. And you can find me online on Ravelry at Threadcatcher and on Instagram at Tea-Fueled Living.
Tea-Fueled Diving. Okay. Oh.
Which is funny because, like, my what's it called? My yarn that I've been dyeing is tea-fueled dyeing. So I have to not say that one either.
Also, I just want to say, before we have a lot to cover because we haven't recorded in forever because we're slackers. It's mostly my fault. Because I was in Sweden, I got the COVID, we got out of the habit, then I came back, then I was doing all the things, and yeah. But before we go any further, we have to say hi to our number one fan, Arissa. So, hi, Arissa. We love you.
Love you.
Okay. Arissa's getting some new pet chickens, we found out.
Some really cute baby pet chickens.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so first updates and general news. What's happening? Annika's freezing. That's what's happening. Of course, we haven't frozen this whole time, and now it's freezing the minute we start actually recording.
I got a great shot of you.
Did you?
I did.
I
think.
So we have a lot. So
are we doing giveaways first?
Yes.
Okay, so can I do my FO because it goes along with our giveaway? Like the FO that I chose?
Yeah.
To share is my nether garments. Yay. Because I finished them. Yeah! Woo!
I'm very
proud
of you.
We're doing a giveaway for
the Cover Your Ass Cow.
The Cover Your Ass Cow. Makes a really nice scarf, and I feel quite preppy, like those white people that you see in movies
over their shoulders
at the country club that stick their sweater over their shoulder before they go play tennis or golf. Mm-hmm. I feel like that.
The headband.
Headband too. Look at that. I'm color coordinated today. Yay!
You are. Well done. Okay, so here's how I'll grab the prizes quick. Hold on. And first we'll draw for okay. We have this set. of Speckly Wonderfulness, Lorna's Lace's Soulmate. They'd work really great faded. Yeah. Okay. Annika
Okay, so
made a
I'm going to share my screen.
And has a random number generator. But don't share your screen.
So I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see.
But you're not sharing the list of the names, right?
No.
Okay.
No. So we had 30 people. We had 30 people post, or we had 30 posts that weren't done by Willa or I. I think that's better lighting. There we go. Okay, so we had 30 posts done by other people that weren't Willa or I. So I'm going to, one sec. Yep, okay. So I'm going to share my screen so you all can see what the number generator says. Hold on. If this will decide to like work with me. Here we go. Huzzah. All right. So 1 to 30. Here we go. Can you see it, Willa?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Number 18. All right.
Who's that?
Let's see who number 18 is. Number 18 is Marshmallow Witch, which is our cat. Yay, cat!
And Cat was one of the first people to finish.
Yeah, she was.
Things. You win, Cat. These are, yeah. Good job,
those are cat clips too. Yay.
Yay! Okay. Then we have this prize. So both of these prizes were donated by Sultan Spun Noma Diddy Co. And one of his coworkers when he worked at Lorna's Laces. And this is Shepherd Sock, I believe. And this is a fade. So this is a fingering weight yard. So is the other. I know there's at least 350 yards in each of these. So this is a sweater's worth. Well, depending. But for most people, it's a sweater's worth. And yeah. In lovely blues.
All right. So, using the same random number generator, let's pull another person. Whoop, whoop, whoop. High techness. Like, this is as high tech as I think as I'm getting. All right, let's do this. Here we go. Number 6. All right, friends, let's see who we get.
Hopefully it's not Sultan, because that would be...
That would be hilarious, and then I think if it is him, he should have it sent back to him. Oh my gosh, guess who it is?
Sultan?
It's Sultan. Congratulations, Sultan.
You won your yarn back. But
I have hand-dyed yarn that I dyed. I will send it to Sultan.
Okay. And do you want me to send this to you?
No. Okay. Well, I mean, I'd use it, but no, that seems really silly. Let's pull another winner.
Okay.
Let's pull another winner.
Yay.
Let's pull another winner. Because, like, prizes for everybody.
And I'm adding a bag prize, too. One that's already made, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling 4 winners then?
Yeah.
Hold on. One sec. I need to write down who's won already because I will forget by the end of this.
Sultan
Hold on.
and Cat.
All right. Can't. Hold on. Just a sec, friends. I'm sorry.
If we don't write
down. Yeah, if we don't write it down, it's just not working for anybody. Okay, let's do this again. All right, so we're gonna pull another winner. Not Sultan this time, hopefully. And let's see. Number 4. All right.
Ira. That's how you say it in Swedish.
Number 4 is Ladybug Lily.
Ooh, yay, Lily.
All right, so Lily gets the fade set.
Woohoo! I know.
Congratulations.
Yay, Lily. The other prize for the Cover Your Ass Cal that I want to give away is a bag that Tomboy Femme Bags made. I think I have a picture, and it's not enlisted in the shop anymore. It was a vintage one, and it's very like on theme for knitting my shit together. Hold on, finding the picture in my Instagram feed, as one does. Okay, here it is. I will be giving away this bag. It says OCD is a noun. And we have that one because people use it as an adjective and it's an actual disease. You shouldn't say I'm so OCD unless you actually have OCD. Okay.
All right. One more. Let's do this. Okay. Number 2.
Look at all the low numbers.
Yeah.
That, I guess, is random.
Number 2 is Potager Knits.
Yeah. Yay.
Okay.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like the people who won the prizes are the people who were like in it with us in the beginning, which is fun.
Exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you to everyone who participated. We really, really appreciate you. And it was really exciting to see everyone like create stuff. And like we love all of our posse of weirdos, so thank you for that. It was really, really exciting.
Speaking of the posse of weirdos and cows, Annika and I are going to do another cow, but we're going to do it in the fall. And Annika is going to pick the pattern, but in the spring and summer, we are going to make a team on the Ravelry group for Tour de Fleece. And what Tour de Fleece is it happens when the Tour de France happens, but this year the Tour de France is getting rescheduled for August because of COVID. So in the Tour de Fleece Ravelry group, they're going to do it twice, when it was originally scheduled for and when it happens. And so the first time is at the end of June. Next episode, next week, I'll have the dates up for that and I'll get the details. But I think the idea is, as a team, we basically spin as much fiber as possible. And plying counts too, I believe. And it's any kind of spinning. You can do a drop spindle, a wheel, whatever you want. So I know a lot of you have been talking about learning to spin, and either on a drop spindle or getting one of the nanos, the electric eels that are, a more cost efficient version of things.
Yeah, so they're more cost efficient, and then also for people who have like
limited
space limitations or weight limitations, body wise, they're a great alternative.
And they're also
I
great.
Love mine. Love mine.
They would also be great for people who might use a wheelchair to get around. You could still use the eel because you could set it on a table that you scoot underneath.
Yeah, and like for me, since I mostly live in my bedroom, because I live in a shared space, mine works really well on like the little TV tray that I have.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will be doing the Tour de Fleece, and I will be sharing details, and I'll get our team registered, and people can sign up, and we'll have info on that forthcoming.
Also, too, just in case you're thinking like, oh, I'm not a good enough spinner, there's no way that I could spin enough to like be helpful to this team. The whole point of Tour de Fleece is creating goals specifically you, and then meeting those goals. Like each individual goal is, yay, you got it. Each person's goal is individual, and each team's goal is like individual to that team. It's partly competing against yourself, and then partially competing for yardage. It's not solely based on yardage. Yeah. So don't feel intimidated by, oh, I'm not a good enough spinner to meet any of this, like,
And every,
you are.
and every yard counts too. And so we're not gonna. Okay, look. Other than Annika, we're not highly competitive here. And even
I'm only
with
highly
yourself,
competitive with things that don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm seriously only highly competitive with things that don't matter.
And
with
so,
things like this, with things that do matter, I'm all High School Musical. We're all in this together, like 100%.
You are.
So no stress.
Yeah. So info about that will be forthcoming. Also, I wanted to say about as a final wrap up for the Cover Your Ass Cal, we are still going to be getting those enamel pins, and Annika just has to look up the information. But it's been a weird month so far.
Which I started doing. I am in my last couple classes. Yay. Before I graduate. Like, we hit it. We pulled in the last 2 classes today for my degree, and I'm really excited and so close to being done. Woo! So, they're coming.
You're cutting up a little.
Oh.
Maybe it's okay now. I don't know. If it's not, you know all of us folks. This is how it goes.
I think there's too many people in my house using internet right now. Hold on. Let's see.
How can you tell?
Oh, my kid is still talking to my mom, and Eric's doing work stuff on his computer, so I don't. And Tobin's probably, like, using Epic on his computer, so, like.
It's okay.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm reading.
Like an actual book?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. They got their Scholastic order today, so he's actually reading an actual book instead of on Epic, which, if you have access to Epic, Epic is awesome because they have ebooks and audiobooks. So, like, I'm fine with it. It just uses internet.
Okay.
Okay, Toes. Thank you.
Anything else we need to? We need to do the other drawing. The other drawing is for the set of Patton's Blue Stripe Drag self-striping sock yarn for initiates of Annika's sock cult. And we did this. I talked about this on our last episode, and to be entered, people had to make a comment. And didn't we have...
They had to comment about a weird dream they've had.
Yes.
Because Willa had a weird dream that she talked about in the last episode. I have a weird dream to talk about this episode, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So, numbers 1 through 5, let's see who the winner is.
Let's find out. Hold on. Here we go. Share screen 1 through 5. Here we go. Number 5. I love you, not right now.
What you doing?
I'm doing podcast stuff, Tobin. Okay, so let's see who number 5 is. Number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is Lisa Raspberry Crochet.
Oh, hi Lisa! Yay! Okay, I don't think she's won any of our drawings, so I'm really glad she won. And she's always so like loving and kind on the Instagrams.
Yay!
That's awesome.
Congratulations!
Yay!
So.
Okay. Also, I just want to point out, I got new glasses today. And I'm saying this because we talked about in a live once how I was saying I had life goals to be Iris Apfel as I age. If you don't know who she is, I'll put a picture up here. She's like a New York fashionista. And I've always been like, I want to be Iris Apfel as I age. And this is like getting me there.
My goals, in case anyone wants to know, is that I want to be Miss Frizzle. That's like my life goals.
Okay. Is there any other business stuff we need to talk about, Annika?
For those who don't know, because they're not hanging out with us on Instagram, which is like totally cool. I get that like multiple platforms can be a lot, and especially right now can be too much. That's totally cool. No shame, no pressure. We are currently doing Stitch groups Wednesday and Saturdays now.
Because
So same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central time. So like our normal Stitch group time,
on Wednesday.
if you would like to come join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays, come join us. You are welcome in whatever capacity you feel like. You don't have to craft. You can just come and hang out. It's super chill, super fun. It's frozen.
You're breaking up again.
There we go. Oh, come on, internet.
It's like the little internet that could. They'll be back.
Because you're using too much internet and our stuff is freezing.
Is Linnea getting off?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, come to Stitch group.
Okay, so Stitch group, Wednesdays and Saturdays, really chill. Come hang out whatever capacity you want. You don't even have to craft. You can like literally just come hang out. We have quite a few people that like will just turn off their mic like and chat in the chat box when they feel like adding something. Like super chill. No biggie. Oh, you're frozen again. What the heck?
What were we talking about? Oh, Stitch group. People should join Stitch group. It's very low key. You don't have to talk. You don't even have to craft. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yes. And then another thing that has like very little to do with like anything. Well, I mean, it has a little to do. So like Willa's and my big thing is like community over competition. And so like a part of community is like taking care of our community members.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, thanks to self-isolating or quarantine or however you want to call this, me, when I feel really stressed, I organize things. Like, big surprise. And I found 3? I think 3. Might be 4. For sure 3 baby blankets that I made and have been holding on to.
Wow.
Like, for fun, waiting for people I know to get pregnant. However, no one that I know has gotten pregnant lately. And so because of that, I know that a lot of people's baby showers and like all of that have been canceled because of this. So if you know of someone or are someone who had their baby shower canceled or whatnot and would like a handmade baby blanket, because like y'all, I got them.
Wow,
let me know and I will happily send one your way.
Yeah.
So, because I worked really hard on these, and like honestly, I think they're pretty.
If nobody comes forward, Annika, I could take them and we could give them away at my church.
That's great. That's perfect.
Okay.
Because I have nowhere out here to give them away to.
Okay.
So, if you would like a baby blanket, hit me up. Because I got them.
Okay. Any other news?
Oh, can I share my weird dream?
Yes.
So last night, I had a dream that Willa and I were at an antique mall.
Awesome.
And we were thrift shopping, like, at this antique mall together. And in the back of this antique mall was this baby, bless you, baby owl in a cage. And not like a nice, like, roomy bird cage, but like one of those, like, old school, like wicker bird cages that are actually for decoration and not really for holding birds in. And like there was just this like little angry puff of baby owl in it, and I'm like, and I thought it was just a stuffed like fake owl at first.
Okay, go on.
And it was a real baby owl. And once we got closer, it started like angry screeching at us. And I'm like, I need this owl, like, not to keep as a pet, but to, like, return to the wild, because this is terrible. And so we bought the owl in the terrible wicker bird cage. And then Willa and I ended up driving to this forest, because we're like, this seems like an apt place to bring a baby owl to. Not to, like, a wildlife rescue, but to this forest. And come to find out that the forest was haunted in, like, typical Disney fashion or typical like mythical fashion where like the trees actually come alive and like move and whatnot. But like once we got there, we took the baby owl out of the cage. I'm like literally just like holding this angry baby owl who's like screeching the whole entire time. I'm like, okay, we're gonna bring the owl into the forest and leave it here because this is where it lives. And, like, we just knew instinctively that the owl lived here. I don't know. So, we're, like, going through this forest, and the trees are angry that we're, like, trespassing and getting ready to, like, attack us. And I'm just going, I'm just trying to bring the owl back to its home. I'm really sorry we're here. And then the trees would stop trying to attack us and, like, just go back and go, oh, okay. And then, like, go back to, like, normal tree, like, ness as they do. And so like we're literally just like traversing this forest. I'm holding like this little angry puffball of owl until we get to like the middle of this forest, and like there's this like one tree sculpture thing. It's like a tree table, and like I'm like, this is where we're supposed to leave the owl. And so we just like plop the baby owl onto this tree thing and then turn around and leave. And that was the end of my dream.
We're here to free the baby owls. I know why you had that dream. Why it was a baby owl. Remember
why?
That freaky looking owl thing my mother gave me and I gave it to Sultan?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an angry baby owl.
It does look like an angry baby owl. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Okay. Good times.
There you go.
All right. So, should I do my FO since you already did yours?
Yeah, I mean, I have a spinning FO that I could share too I just completed.
Do that. We'll do FOs. Annika, share your FO.
Okay, so in typical Annika fashion, I went with the neon. I have a spinning FO because knitting just hasn't felt good lately, which is cool. So I've been doing a lot of spinning, and I spun up this neon rainbow Cheviot Cheviot? I don't know how it's French. There's too many letters.
I think it's Cheviot, actually.
From Malia Made It. I had never spun this, I had never spun Cheviot or whatever.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm going to Google it once we're done with this. I should have Googled it before we did this. Sorry to the French, and people who speak French. But I had never spun this breed of sheep before, so it was on my, sheep bucket list. So I really, really enjoyed it. And if you've never spun it before, It's more coarse than like Merino Corriedale Polworth, but like not in a bad way. It feels really sturdy and it's hairy. Like it will shed on you while you are spinning. So be prepared for that. I totally suggest having something over your lap or where you hold your fiber while spinning, because it will shed. But it was really pleasant to spin. I chain plied it. This was one of the first. Well, this wasn't one of the first. This was the first thing where I chain plied the whole entire amount of fiber that I spun, because I hate chain plying generally. And I realized that if I chain ply when I'm not tired and not exhausted, chain plying is way easier than, say, when you've been up for 45 hours and have only had 5 hours of sleep in the past 3 days.
My neighbor Nikki's here. Just 1 second, just to drop off some fabric. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry. But I got fabric. Ooh, and I just saw something. This is gonna go, this is gonna be a bag.
Ooh. Okay, so according to online, it is pronounced Cheviot.
Okay.
So cool. So this fiber was from Malia Made It, and the colorway that I got was Neon Sunset.
Yay.
And it was super fun to spin. And yeah. That's it.
I have one FO to share. I had more FOs, but I'm just going to share one. We're kind of doing, Annika and I had talked a couple, like last week, we're kind of doing like an FO whip reset because we like had such a long gap in recording. So yeah. My FO is this shawl.
It's really good. Oh, there we go.
I finished. And this is, the pattern is by Stephen West. It's called, I can't remember. Magical Marled, no. We're doing really great. I can look on my, let me quick look in Ravelry. Melted Mirage. The Melted Mirage, which makes sense if you see the original pattern he has, because that is like speckly and tonal, and I did mine in black and gray because then I'll wear it more. And this is going to be for next winter, and it is, the black is Holst garn that I ordered when I was in Sweden. And the mohair is a Dale of Norway that I got when I was in Sweden. And I wanted some, look at this, how big and fluffy and snuggly and brioche-rific this is going to be. Annika.
Amazing.
I
love it.
Be awesome. So yeah, that's that. Then that's all for FOs. Okay, whips. Annika, what whips do you have?
Okay, hold on. Oh, that's like so much better lighting wise. All right, so for whips, I haven't been knitting much, like I said. So like this is all I've knit in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like, this is it. Like, I'm the type of person that can only knit a sock in 3 days, or 2 socks. Pair of socks in 3 days. I mean, I can knit them quicker if I'm motivated, but like, this is all I've knit in a couple weeks. So, but this is Hawari Bazaar Co.'s Spring Day colorway. which she currently has a pre-order for if you're interested. It was one of the BTS of the month colorways. I think this was March. But it's really pretty. It's really speckly, really soft. I love it. I have like no knitting mojo right now. Most of my whips and FOs lately have been masks. Like, I've been sewing a bunch of masks, including this broccoli one. Like,
I have to sew a bunch tonight.
It's pretty great. The broccoli fabric glows in the dark. It's my favorite.
That's cool.
But I've had a lot of
Is that
whips.
almond?
So this is Poledale from Witchcrafty Lady.
Yep.
Almond. It's like one of the softest things I've spun, and I love it. And then the other, so I have 4 ounces of that spun. I have another 4 ounces to go. I think I'm going to keep them as singles. I have an olivey green. I have 8 ounces of that too, and I might just stripe them.
Cool.
Yeah, make a sweater. I think it'll be really soft and really cozy because, like, my main goal in life is cozy. So the other whip that I have is I'm currently spinning, oh look, surprise, neon rainbow. This is merino. Go ask Daddy if you need something. This is merino from the Spinning Mermaid. And I have just under 2 ounces of it left to spin. So I have already spun up like a full 2 ounces, and I have some on my other bobbin. And then once I'm done with this, I'm gonna apply them together. And yeah, I'm really excited. So
awesome.
That's it for my whips at the moment.
Cool. I have a few that I've been working on. The first is I started this in Sweden, and it's halfway done. It's a pair of socks that I'm knitting for Sarah, and I just zipped the yarn in. The zipper.
No.
Well, we'll deal with that later. Maybe it's not in the zipper. No, it is. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the colorway, but it's by Valkyrie Fibers. And it's a self-striping, of course. Here's the... And it's really pretty. There's a good picture. And hopefully I can get it untangled from the bag. So I'm just doing a plain vanilla sock for her, and I finished the first one, and it's in Sweden, and so I'm gonna do the other one and ship it. Yeah. The other thing I also cast on in Sweden. This is a bag I got, by the way, from the Fat Squirrel. A ginormous sweater project bag, and this is a sweater. It's some generic wool that Sarah had in her stash that I took while I was there. And I'm getting there. I have to finish the elastic band or the band and the sleeves. Then, lastly, I started this breaking plaid because I wanted to learn to double knit. And you can't really see it well. I'm going to rip it out because I've decided I don't love double knitting. It takes forever. And it's finicky and you don't get instant gratification. I have to tell Astrid because I'm knitting this with them. We cast it on together. So I'm going to DM them later before this episode goes up and be like, hey, I'm ripping it out. I hate it. So it's just not fun to knit, and I want knitting to be fun. And it's called Breaking Plaid. This yarn I have, by the way, is Sun Valley Fibers. And I'll just use it for something else. Then, Last is I am working on my Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. I'm fading in my fourth color now. So on the bottom, this is, I believe, Sun Valley Fibers, but it's like vintage Sun Valley Fibers. I think I bought this like 10 years ago, a skein of it before they were as big as they are now. And I got it from a local yarn shop near Madison, Wisconsin that I love called the Sowsier that was selling their yarn then because they were local. This middle one is one we won't talk about because problematic, which I discovered after I bought the yarn. And then finally, this color is Forest Fiber Arts, and it is one of the colors of the month. And then I'm adding right now this, which is Tea Time Fiber Arts. Our friend Sunshine dyes this, and I'm loving how this is blending into it. And I'm going to be starting the decrease section soon now. So that's exciting. And those are my FOs. Once I finish this, I'm going to finish that sweater and then cast on another one, probably. I feel like I've been doing a ton of sewing. I've been doing a lot of spinning. I just don't have any of my spinning stuff down here. So I've been doing a lot of making, just like not a lot of knitting making.
Yeah, you have been doing a lot of making.
And I got stuck on one of the simple lace sections on here, and I had to rip it out and keep doing it over, and I got frustrated. And then last night was like, okay, I am going to finish this section, and I just did. And so it feels good now because now I'm in the nice garter stitch, and I'll have a while before I have to do another lace section. But I think lace I just cannot do while chatting with friends, even if it's simple or anything, because then I just mess stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. Okay. Are we ready for the mental health moment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mental health moment. What is this week's mental health moment brought to us by?
This mental health moment is brought to you by Z for Zombies because that was how I expected the apocalypse to go. And the number 2 because that is the amount of months that it has been since I left my house. Yeah. So today's mental health moment is we just wanted to talk about what past trauma or how past trauma can affect how people are experiencing COVID. And
I like that you use the word can affect because trauma affects every brain differently. So let's say that for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And every person's brain is different and every person's trauma is different. And because of that, people experience trauma differently and then it affects everyone's brains differently. So how people are experiencing self-isolating and this whole time period will also be different from person to person. And even different from people in the same household and families. So yes, so we'll start off with that. Also, too, I want to say that whatever emotions you are experiencing and whatever feelings you have during this period of COVID are completely valid and make sense. What we are going through right now is, and what collectively we are all going through right now is not a normal occurrence. And so it can be hard to process. Also, too, I want to say that if you are not feeling the, what's the word I'm looking for? Amount of panic that the media keeps saying that we should be feeling, that is also valid. And like, that doesn't mean that you are experiencing this whole COVID period incorrectly. That being said, I do want to say that if you are choosing not to social distance, and if you are choosing to not listen to what the scientists and doctors and medical professionals and people who have spent years and years and years studying all of this type of thing and are being like, meh, I know better. It's all hyped up. I don't need to follow this. This is not the podcast for you. Like, you deciding that you know better than all of these, like, trained professionals who study the effects of all of these things. Like,
if it was just your own life you were putting in your hands, that would be one thing. But
yeah.
You're like risking other people's lives without their consent when you do that.
Yeah. And the fact that there are so many doctors and medical professionals and like even like janitors and cleaning staff at hospitals and other medical centers who are like, you're being selfish. We've seen that this is not like the flu or anything like that. You're putting other people's lives at risk and you're still choosing not to believe them. Like, you're being selfish, and like, this is not the podcast for you. Like, Will and I do not support that behavior.
Exactly, but I will also say this. If what leads to that decision for you, or even if like you haven't made that decision, but you're feeling confused and don't know what to do because you're hearing so much different information, that's understandable. We have no real organized federal leadership on this at all. Every state's doing things differently. Every county's doing things differently. Cities are doing things differently. And also, this is a brand new virus. Like, so scientists are learning about it as they go. And so, it's okay to feel that confusion, but what I say is when you're feeling that confusion, like, what do I do? Take the most conservative steps you can so that you're not accidentally risking other people's lives. So, like, for example, for me, even though I had it in Sweden and I left when Sweden said I could, even though I didn't think I was contagious, I still quarantined for the additional 2 weeks the CDC recommended when I got here. And guess what? I got a fever in it. So then I had to call the Minnesota Department of Health, and they said add another 7 days onto that. That ends tomorrow. But you know what? I'm not going to like go out and start hanging out with friends, because the thing is, they don't know how long people are shedding the virus for. They don't know how long the antibodies last. They don't know any of that because this is all totally brand new. So I am just going to continue to probably quarantine and shelter in place. But I will like now feel okay if I need to go to the grocery store going. But I will be wearing a mask. I will be practicing social distancing. I will be hand washing, all of those things. Does that make sense?
I was thinking more of like the people in my neighborhood who are still choosing to throw giant birthday parties where they're inviting the neighborhood and then like getting angry when people don't come because they're deciding to social distance.
Don't throw
That's
parties.
more of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not.
But I still want to say, like, I think confusion is pretty understandable at this point if someone's feeling that. But don't let confusion drive you to make the choice where you disregard all warnings.
Yeah.
Instead, err on the side of being conservative to help keep people safe and not overwhelm our healthcare systems.
Yes. And when Willa is saying err on the side of being conservative, we're not saying what, like, the Republican Party
No.
saying. We're saying on, like, the
liberalness of which you apply and stick, the level of which you stick to guidelines and social distancing and quarantining, be conservative with that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So we also wanted to talk about like feelings and all of this. So personally, so far, we have been sheltering in place for 2 months. I have not left my house except to like walk to our mailbox. And we've gone for a couple drives, like as a family, just to get out of the house. But we haven't
got out of the car.
We haven't gone out of the car. We didn't stop and talk to anyone like while in the car. Like literally got in the car, drove for a bit, and then came home, got out of the car, and went into our house. So like I want to talk about like feelings during all of this. Personally, I'm an extrovert. And so like I have been feeling a bit stir crazy. I'm just in that aspect. And then also to like I'm a decently scheduled person. Like I kind of live and breathe for my schedule. And that got severely interrupted by all of this. And so something to know, my child is pretending they're a bird dinosaur, it sounds like, in the background. I really apologize. I don't know if my mic is picking it up. But there's roaring and tweeting going on. So something to know is that psychologists are saying that this massive interruption to daily life can be seen as a trauma, especially with younger kids and especially like for a good portion of our population. And so because of that, like you might notice like, hey, I need you to stop, please. Tobin, you need to stop. So you might notice drastic changes to your sleep schedule, whether with sleeping a lot more and feeling tired a lot more, or sleeping less, or sleeping at different times. This is normal, especially when our bodies... Okay, hold on a sec. Lynette, Tobin, you both need to stop. I am not asking you again. Okay, you don't need to monitor Daddy. Daddy is a grown-up and can take care of himself, and tell him to stop. You do not need to please Tobin. You need to take care of yourself and your own behaviors. So you both need to go and do something quiet. What you are currently doing is not a quiet activity. Leave your brother alone and go do something else, please. No, go do something else. Why don't you go read one of the new books you got?
I'm about to go with the mother.
Okay, then go do it quietly, please, and leave your brother alone. Okay, where was I?
Sleep might be off. Psychologists are saying for children it could be a trauma.
Yes. Okay. So for children, it could be a trauma. And then for adults, it can also be a trauma, especially for adults who have never experienced trauma in this way before, which a lot of us haven't. And if you have experienced trauma before, it can also bring up some of those same brain patterns that for those who have experienced trauma, which means that it can disrupt sleep in major ways. So you can either sleep a lot more, it can change your sleep schedule completely. So like you might find that you are going, like you're getting tired earlier or later than you used to. And then it can also make it so you're sleeping less. So like personally, it changed my sleep schedule. Before all of this started, like I was in bed and asleep by like 11:30, and then shortly after all of this started, self-isolation wise, like it was 3 a.m. before I was getting tired and feeling sleepy, which I don't even know, friends. Like,
You're on Willa time now.
What?
You're on Willa time now.
Yeah, I'm on Willa time now. Thankfully, my sleep schedule is starting to go back to normal, or my normal, now that my body is getting used to it. One of the other things, too, like, is to give yourself some grace during this. Like, this is a stressful time, whether or not it is bringing up past trauma responses or whatnot. Like, this is a stressful time for everyone because our norm has changed so much. And so, like, I know personally I've had a lot more, like, tension and stress headaches. I know that there's several of our posse of weirdos who have had tension and stress headaches. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have to keep the same level of productivity as we were beforehand. Like, this is a completely new time period wise. And I know that, like, some of us still have deadlines that we have to keep and we still have work that we have to get done. But, like, give yourself some grace with this. Don't be afraid to ask for help or extensions if you need it. Like, I know specifically I'm in my last semester of school. We just pulled in my last couple classes today before I graduate, which is really, really exciting. But like my school is offering extensions to anyone that asks for it because this time is so strange. Like timing wise, like time just doesn't feel like it exists anymore. And a lot of students and people at my school are feeling that. But also too, like, because our highly regimented schedules in daily life has changed so much, like, that also screws with people's productivity feeling. So give yourself some grace. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. Like, there is a decent amount of help available in various communities that way.
I also want to share for people who are on my end of the spectrum, which is I'm fairly nonplussed about the whole thing. And Annika and I talked about this too, that for some people who've experienced trauma in their life, so like I have a PTSD diagnosis. Not everybody with a CPTSD diagnosis is going to have this. It's different for everybody. But for me, it's like, I'm fine. Generally. Don't you think? Generally, like, I'm fine. I just am like, okay, like, this is kind of my normal life anyway. And I've just been getting a lot of stuff done. I haven't been able to do some things, like go to therapy and all of that, but I'm generally okay. I watch the news all the time and it doesn't freak me out. And I'm just kind of on the other end of the spectrum where it could be easy. And so Annika read some articles and basically the theory is if you've experienced trauma before, like your brain has neural pathways that it developed as coping mechanisms, because especially if you were in like prolonged stressful ongoing situations. And so one way your brain can react is to be like, oh, okay, well, I know how to do this, and just keep going. And so I think it's easy when you're in that place to feel bad that you're not freaking out, or to feel mean, because sometimes people have reached up to me who are really struggling and being like, oh, and part of me is like, really? Like, okay. And then feel bad, like, am I not taking it seriously enough? But then I'm like, no, this is just how I am. Like, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. Like, and, on the news, people are like, the world's gonna end. I'm like, okay, then the world will end. Like, it'll be fine. All right. If that's...
And I know for me, like, I also have a CPTSD diagnosis. And like, obviously Willa's traumas are different than mine.
Yeah.
But like, for me, my stressors with all of this aren't necessarily like, oh, what happens if we get like the COVID, or like,
it's like your schedule getting disrupted, not being able to see people. Whereas in everyday life, I'm an introvert who has no schedule. So
check on your extrovert friends.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I realize, like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if you are on the Willa end of the spectrum where you feel decently calm through all of this and are worried that you're not taking this seriously enough, or like are worried that you aren't grasping the severity of the situation the same way everyone is, like, don't worry about it. Like, your brain is processing this the best way it can. Like, there's nothing wrong with the way that your brain is processing this. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been fairly chill. I was frustrated in Sweden because I was sick and didn't have all my stuff. So I think I would get bored a little bit.
I think it was more like, for what I noticed, I don't think it was you getting bored, because you had quite a few of the same things that you did, like, that you normally do at home. I felt like it was more just you didn't have the same, like, space or comfort items that you normally have when you're sick at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was more what was bugging you than, like, being bored. I mean, I could be wrong.
No,
obviously,
I agree.
Since your brain, but that's what I noticed.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think so. Yeah, I think, like, yeah. So you're right. All of it to say, like, no matter what you're feeling, it's okay. Also, our friend, follower, and person we love on the podcast, Flavia, created a whole list of resources specific to COVID that she shared with people in her class cohort, and she sent that link to me. And so I am going to put that in the drop-down box along with the crisis numbers, all of those lists. Also, so thank you, Flavia. Also, NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, has great COVID-specific resources right now. And so that they're, I think, NAMI.org. So go, feel free. They're on our list of resources, too, to check them out. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Do you have anything to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Take care of yourself. Be extra kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Let yourself off your own hook. Like, it's just a weird season, and we'll get through. And what I haven't said that people are saying is, well, things will get back to normal. I'm like, no, they're not. It's going to be a new normal now, and that's okay. We'll all adapt, and it'll be fine. But it's okay to not feel fine. And there are resources to help you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else before we close, Annika? Thanks for joining us, people. If you like, you can like and subscribe in the box below.
And if you don't like it, and decide to leave us a thumbs down and have gotten this far,
we're impressed.
Why?
Why are you spending your precious time watching things you don't like?
Why? And if you are one of those people, can you just DM us on Instagram to let us know why you're wasting your time doing that? Because I have questions.
We do. We have questions.
Just a reminder that we do Stitch Group Wednesday and Saturdays.
We do lives.
At 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. It's super low key. Come join us whatever capacity you want. It's a good time. I normally do a face mask because skincare routine. Yeah.
We also do lives.
Yeah. We do lives Wednesdays and Fridays. We don't have a set schedule because Willa's half of our equation.
We've nailed it down to days of the week, and that's impressive for me.
It's true, which I appreciate. Willa, I actually really appreciate that Willa has taught me through this podcast to let go of some things and just chill out and not stick to a regimented schedule. And it's one of the things that I just don't stress about, and it's cool. I actually don't stress about it. So yeah, sometime on Wednesday and Friday we do lives. Wednesdays we go over the top 5 what's hot right now patterns on Ravelry. And if they aren't size inclusive or use problematic yarns, then we don't talk about those patterns. And we discuss why we don't talk about those patterns. So it's not a surprise about we're just being we're skipping them. And then on Fridays we do a featured maker shout out. So where we talk about generally BIPOC makers, but we also talk about makers from other marginalized groups that we are loving. So yeah. And if we don't have anything to talk about, or if we get through what we're talking about quickly, then we just hang out and chat, and it's fun. So it's so pretty. I love it.
I'm about to cut out this color. I have 2 more rows left to knit with it, and then I'm on to the new one.
Yay! That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
I have knit this far on the sock today. This is the most amount of progress I've made in 2 weeks. So I'm really excited. Yeah. So,
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.